Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So this week, my intuitive message to you was expect birthing pains, right? So whatever it is that you are trying to initiate, to start, to get out into the world, to share with the world, to develop, to create, this week, there are going to be, like the truth of the matter is, doesn't matter what kingdom it's in, whether it's the animal kingdom, whether it's the human kingdom, right? What across the board, birth is a messy, scary, dirty, grimy process, right? But the rewards of it are absolutely immense, right? Universally beautiful. New life comes from birth. And so the message behind this is, yes, there are going to be some birthing pains. Whatever you're starting, whatever you're creating, whatever you're launching, there are likely to be some moments where it's like, crap, it's hard, it's scary, it's whatever it might be. But you're really being sort of shown, or the message that I was being shown was, yes, it's all of those things, but look at what comes from it. Each one of us was born. Even those, a lot of people say, well, what about people that were born by cesarean? Well, even that, right? Like, hello. I don't think it gets much more traumatic, especially for the mum, than that, right? But then look at what we get out of it. We get an entire life, and if we get to live a full one, how many moments of beauty, how many moments of pleasure, how many moments of awe-inspiring awesomeness, So yes, there are likely to be some birthing pains this week. That was the message that I took from it, and I was kind of like, okay, cool. So, whatever we're doing, yeah, it may have some hiccups, it might even have some delays, but that's not a picture of all that it's going to be. All right. So for our, did I bless my cards? Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our path to our highest vibrational good. All right. So for our Destiny card this week from the Human Design Oracle deck, we have, okay, that one seems to want out. All right, the Gate 52 and Stillness. And the message behind this card really is to sit still, to quiet yourself, right? To go within where the magic and the energy reside, and to listen deeply, right? To really pay attention to what comes up in that stillness. And so whatever is being birthed, even if it's a difficult or a challenging birth, just know, take a breath, take a moment to breathe through it. Take a moment, I can only imagine what the pain is like. So if you're having an actual baby this week, first of all, congratulations, that's wonderful. Second, bring yourself to some stillness, right? Bring yourself into that moment. And as an overarching or a destiny card, this does suggest that maybe the reason that there are birthing pains is because it's not happening as fast as we would like. And if you're anything like me, I'm going to tell you straight up, patience is not one of my virtues. I have lots of things about myself that I could say, yeah, you know what, I'm pretty good at that. Patience ain't one of them, all right? I'm just going to tell you straight up. I am fully aware of who I am, right? But this week, if I'm feeling that, I will give myself and those around me, God bless them, I can be a bit much at times. Me, really? No. The grace, right? I'll sit still and just say, okay, cool. You know what? Take a minute, take a breath, take a beat, take it down. Whatever you are trying to do, especially if it's new. It's like when you take your first steps. Oh my gosh, those first steps. You've ever seen toddlers taking their first steps? Once you get past the, oh my gosh, they're walking, it's actually hilarious. They look like, little drunk people, right? Because it's all jerky and right? And so the same, whatever you're bringing to the world, whatever is being birthed through the amazing being that you are, will take time. And if it's not happening as fast as you would like or in exactly the way that you envisioned, still yourself, calm yourself, and regroup, right? And just then push on from there. So for our direction cards, how do we best tap into this? Maybe even just how do we find the stillness? All right, this week we get the Six of Pentacles. By letting others help you to start with, by releasing what you know is done, and by surrendering your vision to love, right? And what I mean by this is when you can kind of say, okay, you know what, maybe I can outsource this or I can ask for help. That's the Six of Pentacles. I'm not in control here, so I may as well just relinquish the idea that I am, because the more I obsess over what I can't control, what is the point, right? And then with that Page of Cups, this really, it's an intuitive energy, it's a loving energy, it's also the energy of our emotions and our heart. And so if you can, Ten of Swords and Page of Cups, that's a Hanged Man kind of vibe to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to kind of say, okay, you know what, let me just surrender to what is. That's how you find the stillness. It's not you sit still, you be quiet, you do nothing and try not to think of anything, and then the stillness comes. You surrender, and then the stillness finds you. All right, so take a breath, take a beat. And if things aren't going to plan or go in the way that you would like, can you ask for help? It's going to be one of the best and brightest ways for you to get ahead, right? The other thing with your direction energies, they're very much about the path that is likely to unfold in front of you. Now, the Six of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords also suggests this is very possible, and I wouldn't be surprised, because the words I'm hearing in my mind are trade deal. I wouldn't be surprised on a personal level, this is somebody drops out. Somebody that said they were going to help you, that they were going to be there to support you with something, they drop out. And maybe you get thrown into a tiswas. You know, what am I going to do? Don't panic. There will always be help available to you. You just have to ask for it. All right? And on the wider world stage, this is an agreement that someone, maybe even a whole nation, has agreed to fulfill, and they pull out probably at the last minute. So I'll be intrigued to see who that is and how it shows up on the wider world stage. This might also even be where some kind of aid or support has been promised, and again, it doesn't go ahead or they back out for any number of reasons. And then finally for our insight cards, if we could see round corners this week, what would we see and what would we need to know? All right. We got the Star card, beautiful. So there's hope for the future with the Two of Cups, forging the right connections, and then the Two of Wands. So two twos represents a bond, a pact, or an accord. The reason one ally, support network, system, person, etc., whatever it might be, is going away this week is because new ones are being forged, and these are the right ones. Marilyn Monroe has, it's a whole quote and I can't remember all of it, but a part of it that really always sticks out to me is she says, sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. I mean, just how, how, like, that's so beautiful. And that's what this says to me, because the two twos, like I said, two twos, a bond, a pact, an accord, a connection, a collaboration, a partnership is being forged here, and one that potentially goes quite long into our futures. For some of you, if you're single, this could be that you're meeting somebody that's going to be a very special part of your future. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments already, this could be that you and your partner are finally forging a connection on something that maybe you haven't been able to agree on in a very long time. Especially if another partnership that has been rocking the boat of your relationship ends this week or comes to a close in some regard. For those of you that aren't interested in love or relationships, this could be a business partnership. Now, for a lot of you, this may be a connection of some sort that is forged either online or through technological means. Because we've got the Two of Wands involved in this as well, this does suggest that this week there is a very lucrative partnership that is opening up or being forged in some way. So I'm very excited about that. Now, on the wider world stage, this is going to be a relationship that has an age gap. I'm going to tell you that straight up. This is, you know, someone's younger, someone's older, and everybody kind of gets into a tizwas about whether it's right or wrong, or, you know, all of that. Like, nobody really cares. As long as everybody is a legal, consenting adult and it's not, you know, there's nothing untoward and, you know, everybody's making their decisions of sound mind. If people are happy, leave them to it. All right, that's what I say. It ain't none of my business. I don't want anybody up in mine either. I'm not dating, by the way. So if any of you got any friends who are happy, let me know. Jokes aside, that's one way this could show up on the wider world stage. Another way that it will show up, so whatever trade deal has not gone ahead this week, maybe a new one is forged. And I gotta say, this does feel like a merger or a union of two very large tech companies because of that Aquarius and the star card energy there. So I'll be intrigued to see how this shows up. There's a lot changing in the tech world recently, and there's going to be a lot of movement going on through that sector and through another one. We're going to see some very lightning quick developments moving forward, and we're going to see some mergers that nobody expects. So I'm intrigued and I'm excited. With that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. I love it when you guys send me text messages, well, not text messages because no one's got my number, but DM messages on Instagram, Facebook messages. I love it when you email me or comment in the comments to say, oh, you know, you said this was going to happen and this is where it showed up. I love those moments. It's not about me saying like, oh, look, I'm so wonderful and, you know, I made this prediction. It's about the fact that this as a medium works. There are many tarot readers out there doing amazing work. There are many amazing astrologers out there doing amazing work. The reason I love those validations is, one, it shows me that I'm on the right path. And two, it demonstrates to all of us that no matter what people tell us, the oracles do not lie. They know, you know, they will speak, and it's up to us to really get into the nitty gritty to figure out what, you know, what they're actually saying to us and create cohesive and coherent stories that then we can see like, wow, you know what, the cards spelt that out and here it is happening. All right. So with that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Take care and I'll see you soon.